we do have good news on the mining front for RDNA3, potentially. We have increased bus sizes. Originally, we were expecting a 256-bit bus at the top end, with AMD leveraging and leaning on Infinity Cache to make up the performance difference on the memory with, of course, NVIDIA and their large bus sizes. I like big buses, and I cannot lie. Let's take a look. AMD RDNA3 flagship Navi 31 GPU rumored to offer up to 384-bit bus and 24 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory. Navi 32 gets a 256-bit bus for up to 16 gigabytes of memory. AMD RDNA3 powered Navi 3 GPUs are now rumored to feature an updated memory layout, with the flagship offering the same VRAM as NVIDIA's RTX 4090 graphics card. The rumor is pretty straightforward and comes once again from GreyMoon55. There have been recent reports from Red Gaming Tech that AMD's flagship Navi 31 GPU will be equipped with a bigger 384-bit bus interface compared to the previously speculated 256-bit bus, which was valid but only when the previous specifications were being talked about. It looks like the updated specs lowered the core count but increased the overall memory layout that the flagship RDNA3 GPUs have to offer. Now remember, we don't have a 384-bit bus on AMD yet, and this is going to be extremely interesting on the gaming side of things too, as they leverage essentially the Infinity Cache to increase the total bandwidth, which projected on a 256-bit bus was going to be up to 1.7 terabytes a second. Now, with the new Infinity Cache, and obviously this is all rumor and speculation, and a 384-bit bus, you could be talking over, potentially, at least on the gaming side, and as long as the drivers work, which is questionable and blah, 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 but speculation for fun, over 2 terabytes a second of memory bandwidth. No matter what, this is probably good news for miners. Now, we did see, of course, with the refresh, RDNA2 refresh and the faster GDDR6 memory, it didn't translate into better mining performance on memory-intensive algorithms, at least at this point. The reasoning for this, best I can tell, is that they're pushing that GDDR6 memory to higher speeds, which is requiring the basically loosening of the memory timings. This is pretty common, and that is probably why, without any sort of modifications to the mining software and so on, it seems to be getting nerfed there. No, it's not an intentional nerf, that, from what I can tell, by any means. It is just probably the loosening of timings on that memory and not having any sort of specific miners ready for the refresh. Hopefully we see better mining performance, but it is important to bring that up, basically the disappointment in the refresh from that perspective when we're talking about bigger buses and mining projections for RDNA3, because it's potential there, or there is potential there for not having as much, right? So let's continue on and see here if they have any more information for us. The AMD Navi 31 GPU, the flagship RDNA3 chip, would power the next-gen enthusiast cards such as the Radeon RX 7900 XT graphics card. We have heard that AMD will drop compute units in favor of work group processors on its next-gen RDNA3 GPUs. Each work group processor will house dual compute units, but with twice the SIMD32 clusters, or SIMD32 clusters, as opposed to just 2 on each compute unit with RDNA2. Rumors are that AMD has the option to select between Samsung and TSMC for the 6nm die. According to the latest information, the AMD Navi 31 GPU with RDNA3 architecture is expected to offer a single GCD with 48 work group processors, 12 SAs, and 6 SEs. This will give out a total of 12,288 stream processors, which is lower than the previous count. This will also drop the overall compute performance unless AMD goes crazy with over a 3 gigahertz clock frequency, which, if we looked at the RDNA2 refresh, we were seeing, easily like out of the box 2700 megahertz, so 2.7 gigahertz. It's not out of the realm of possibility that RDNA3 is going to crack 3 gigahertz on the processor. That is not out of the realm of possibility. However, we are going to be seeing a much different architecture with essentially the multi-core processors, right? So it's going to be a little bit different, or what is it called? Multi-module or whatever, right? So they take that into account as well as changing it up. But, you know, we are hitting really high clock speeds right now. And so the Navi 31 GPU will also carry 6 MCDs. There you go, multi-core dies, I believe is the term I was searching for just a second ago, which will feature 64 megabytes of infinity cache per die and are also likely to carry the 64-bit, 32-bit times 2 memory controllers that will provide the chip with a 384-bit bus interface. And so we do have some layouts here as far as the architecture goes. And you can kind of see essentially the infinity cache, infinity cache, infinity cache, infinity cache. And then you have your compute die and the 6 SEs and the 48 workgroup processors and blah, blah, blah. And then you step down to 32 workgroup processors, and you step down to 16 workgroup processors, and no infinity cache on the low end there. Not really sure. The Navi 31 RDNA3 MCDs will be linked to a single GCD via a next generation Infinity Fabric interconnect and feature a 256 to 384 megabytes of infinity cache. Considering the latest memory design, next generation Navi 31 GPUs can be equipped with up to 24 gigabytes of VRAM, the same memory capacity as the upcoming and existing flagships from NVIDIA, the RTX 3090 and 4090. The newer memory spec can be seen as a reduction over the previously rumored 32 gigabyte memory, but it's definitely going to help tone down the pricing of the card, and having parity with NVIDIA while Infinity Cache is in the play can deliver competitive performance in higher resolution gaming. And lower resolution gaming too for Infinity Cache, to be fair. I guess it does impact the higher resolution too. But as we've experienced the first iterations of Infinity Cache, we saw higher frame rates in traditional rasterization over NVIDIA at lower resolutions like 1080p, for example. The AMD Navi 32 GPU is also one of the 2 MCM multi-chip module. Golly! We messed up a lot today. It's fine. MCD is multi-cache die. MCM is multi-chip module. And to make that clear, if we looked up here, the multi-cache die, dun, 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 and then multi-chip module down here with the workgroup processors. I got it. It's fine. We're going. The die is very similar to the flagship Navi 31 GPU, but has one less shader engine across each die. The AMD Navi 32 GCD is expected to utilize TSMC's 5nm process node, while the MCD will be based on the 6nm process node. The GCD will be equipped with 4 shader engines, and each shader engine has 2 shader arrays, 4 in total. Each shader array is composed of 4 workgroup processors, 8 per shader engines, 32 in total, and each workgroup processor features 8 SIMD32 units with 32 ALUs. That's 32 SIMD32 per your shader arrays, 64 per your shader engines, engines, and that is 128 in total. These SIMD32 units combine to make up to 8,192 cores in total. The Navi 32 MCDs will be linked to the GCD via a next-generation Infinity Fabric interconnect and feature a rumored 256 megabytes of infinity cache. Each MCD should also feature 2 memory connect links, 32-bit. That's a total of 8 32-bit memory controllers for a 256-bit bus interface. The graphics chip should provide up to 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory, the same amount as the existing Navi 21 GPUs, but 33% higher memory capacity than the Navi 22 GPUs. This would bring the performance of the AMD Radeon RX 7700 series above the RX 6800 and RX 6900 series, offering one big leap in graphics horsepower in games. This would also pump up the power numbers, as the RX 6700 XT is currently rated at 230 watts, but that could go up to 270 to 300 watts. There have been several rumors stating that the upcoming RDNA3 GPUs are going to outperform whatever NVIDIA has to offer in terms of rasterization performance and power efficiency. It looks like AMD will take the lead by offering the first multi-chip module powered GPUs under its Radeon RX 7000 series graphics card lineup. There are also rumors about 3D stacking on the flagship Navi 31 GPUs, and the launch is currently expected in the second half of 2022. I am extremely excited for RDNA 3. From like a tech nerd perspective, multi-chip modules on here, that's how they caught up with Intel with Ryzen to a certain extent in a similar fashion. The Infinity Cache is getting really, really large, making it extremely interesting. The clock speeds are going through the roof. As far as mining, do I know if it will perform great? Because of all of the changes going on and the reworking the architecture, it's probably going to take some time before people catch up to actually being able to develop software for it. And I feel like the mining side is going to take longer to catch up, especially as we hit these bear markets, right? So unless there's some sort of sneaky trick in the drivers that are popping out to increase and provide this to basically legacy software without modifications to the software, I think we're going to see decent hash rates, right? With an upgrade to 384-bit bus at the top end, we're going to see closer to that 100 mega hash a second, provided there's not something wonky going on like there was with the RDNA2 refresh. But there is probably a lot more potential within the cards if you're able to utilize everything, and it's just time will tell, right? I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Morning Show every Monday through Friday, 7:45 a.m. Pacific and 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check out more clips here, or if you're interested in checking out the entire live show, you can check that out down here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.